After 15 years, I am no longer riding for Diamondback. Feels really weird to say that. They were more than just my bike sponsor, they were my biggest sponsor, so things might be changing around here. While riding for them, I started a family, built this backyard, started a YouTube channel, and hopefully inspired a lot of people to get outside and ride their bikes. So let's get into it, talk about what happened, and what's up next for us. I got my first Diamondback long before I was on the team. So when I was growing up in Louisville, Kentucky, my very first job was working at a bike shop that happened to be a Diamondback dealer. So I was selling Diamondbacks, working on them, learning everything about bikes. And after a couple years, I was finally able to get my first Diamondback, which was the team issue. And this was when Cadell Evans was racing it in the Olympics. It was the yellow and red one. I absolutely loved that bike. I learned all kinds of stuff, how to race, how to ride trials, how to jump, kind of everything on that bike. And that took me all the way through college. And I have just as good of memories on my last Diamondback, which is the Yowie, which is a bike that I helped develop with the product team and something I kind of dreamed up, and we worked together to create this awesome bike that I've had so much fun on and so many great adventures. Now I'm sure you all want to know what happened, and it'll be no surprise to hear that it's related to the current state of the bike industry. Things are not going well for a lot of companies, and Diamondbacks had to make a lot of hard decisions over the years, including ending their relationship with Seth at Burn Peak. But as far as I know, as of right now, they have no plans of shutting down. They're just making smart decisions to ride this out. There's no hard feelings on my end towards Diamondback. I'm just grateful for the good times we had together over the last 15 years. It's been an incredible, mutually beneficial relationship. We've made lifelong friends, traveled the world, and most importantly, my kids have learned to ride bikes on Diamondbacks. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you to everybody that we've ever met and worked with at Diamondback. We love you guys. It's been such a good run, and I'm just thankful that it happened. Before I talk about what's next for the Porter family, I want to share with you some of my favorite memories with Diamondback. When I signed with Diamondback, my oldest son Milo was less than a year old, and I had just ridden in my last Crankworks slopestyle. I was put on the team as a jack of all trades. My main role was with the marketing department, creating content that showed their trail bikes in cool places doing cool stuff. This meant planning riding trips with other athletes, photographers, and videographers, writing articles for magazines, and generally working hard to show this amazing sport to the world. It's a much harder job than you would think, but it's also very much a dream job that was years in the making. I also worked closely with the product team on bike development and testing, and the PR team to show off the bikes at media launches. Our team manager, John Kennedy, put together a great crew of riders with different skill sets, and we started off with a team trip to Oregon. On trips like this, we shot most of the photos for the Diamondback catalog and website for the year, and the really good shots went to magazines as well. And of course, we always had a great time riding trails and making each other laugh along the way. My new teammate from New Zealand, Kelly McGarry, also known as Magaza, quickly became one of my best friends and part of our family. Together with our friend and photographer Justin Olson, we headed to Peru next. We rode some incredible trails and also brought solar panels to a remote village so they could have some lights for their school. This school is in one of the most remote areas of Peru, and the kids had to walk over 2 hours each way to get to this school. So when your parents say they had to walk uphill both ways to school, they might be telling the truth. The following year, we planned another crazy trip with this crew. We floated 70 miles of river to find cool stuff to ride in the desert. This trip will always be one of my favorites, spending 10 days in the wild with no communication to the outside world, just good friends, bikes, and fun. The coolest feature we found to ride was a slick rock gully we could ride like a bobsled run. And for the work side of it, we had produced a big article for Bike Magazine and an online video that connected with a lot of people. Back at home in Utah, we went big as well. We built the jumps in our backyard and hosted a full media launch for the new line of bikes that year, inviting magazine editors to come ride with us and show off the new stuff to the world. We even finished the night in downtown Park City at a concert with Slash from Guns N' Roses. Side note, Slash is a huge bike fan and loves BMX. Speaking of Hollywood type stuff, I got the opportunity to go to the Fantasy Factory and meet Rob and Big. And this was one of the biggest shows on MTV around 2010 to 15, which was incredible to go see. We made a custom bike for Christopher Boykin, aka Big Black, and he had a story about his first Diamondback as well, which was super cool to hear.
It's crazy, man, 'cause my first bike ever was a Diamondback. In my neighborhood, someone stole someone's bike. And the guy sold me the frame. I didn't know it was stolen. He sold me the frame. I bought it. He was working at White Castle, saved all my money up, got the frame, took it out to a pizzeria the same day, built the bike up myself, and then it got stolen the same day. So that was my first real thing about karma. And I didn't know the bike was stolen. I just bought a bike. But my first bike ever was Diamondback. And 30 years later, I'm getting another one. And this was legit. So I said, thanks, man.
Thanks.
For everything.
Absolutely.
Diamondback bikes, they do the work.
I got to be a part of some really cool projects over the years in the mainstream media, including Subaru and Toyota ads. And no, I didn't get free cars and trucks from them. I also got to be in an episode of Top Gear, one of my favorite shows. We rode all over San Francisco, jumped over the car, and raced the host through town all the way down to the Golden Gate Bridge. Another huge career highlight was starring in the mountain bike segment of the IMAX film National Parks Adventure, alongside my childhood hero, mountaineer Conrad Anker, and narrated by the one and only Robert Redford, the Sundance Kid himself.
On their perpetual road trip, their friend Eric Porter takes them to just outside the park.
Taking my kids to the theater to watch me ride on a 70-foot tall IMAX screen was a proud dad moment for sure. The coolest part about film projects that are outside the bike industry is we get the opportunity to show how cool our sport is to an audience that may not have seen it before, and hopefully create a bunch of new mountain bikers in the meantime. Part of being a professional athlete is pushing the boundaries of what's possible, and since I was no longer doing that with big jumps and crazy tricks, I started dreaming up trips to crazier places. We went to Zanskar, India, which is in the Himalaya mountains between Pakistan and China, right next to Kashmir. The plan was to do a pretty ambitious 2-week-long bikepacking trip on a route that had never been ridden before. But we were hit by an unexpected early season snowstorm that shut down the whole region and left us stranded for a week on our own. Thankfully, we made it home safe from that one. We also rode some of the craziest Indiana Jones type bridges I've ever seen on this trip. Over the years, I've had some pretty unique shuttles to ride my bike, but we went way beyond normal shuttles. On one trip, we went to Morocco, which is in northern Africa, where we strapped our bikes to donkeys to ride the Atlas Mountains, and followed that with a stop in the Sahara Desert to try sandboarding. In Canada, we loaded our bikes on a helicopter for laps outside of Whistler, as well as inside a float plane to go deep inside the Chilcotins in British Columbia. In Durango, we boarded the narrow gauge train to ride the Colorado Trail. In Slovenia, we took a zip line across a ravine to get to the trail we wanted to ride. In Guatemala, we accessed some cool trails on the other side of a lake by taking a boat. And then in Ecuador, we got to shuttle a volcano with trucks. And of course, back in Park City, we got to use the city bus. A shuttling highlight closer to home was putting my bike in the back of my friend Todd's actual Tonka truck, a trophy truck that he races in the Baja 1000. He absolutely shredded around in the desert with me, which was a dream come true. And of course, that ended up being way more fun than the mountain bike ride down afterwards. Now, the craziest place I ever got to ride my bike was Kurdistan, in the northern part of Iraq, shortly after the war had ended there. We rode by actual minefields left over from the Iran-Iraq war. We rode through security checkpoints with machine guns. That sign right there means there's a mine, and that this is the minefield. But most importantly, we made friends with the locals who were people just like us that just want to live in peace and take care of each other.
Hi! Hello!
Hello!
Hey! From America!
Yeah. The highlight of that trip was riding single track with guys on motorcycles on trails they made to ride to and from work. After this trip, I have a much different view of Iraq than what I grew up seeing on the news. And while we were safe on this trip, it did make me rethink how much time I was spending away from the family chasing adventure around the world, when I could be back home chasing adventure with them. So back home in Utah, my kids Milo and Owen started growing up a bit and having an absolute blast on balance bikes on the backyard jumps, soon moving on to pedal bikes. They were starting to learn how to dig as well so they could build their own features to ride. As they grew, we stepped up the rides, and soon they were riding the bike park at Deer Valley. It was around this time that Seth from Burn Peak was brought onto the Diamondback team, and we immediately hit it off. Over the following years, he became one of my best friends and also convinced me to start this YouTube channel. Thanks, Seth. We've been on a lot of great trips together now. Played games of bike, rode each other's backyards, had some big dumb rides, and we're always planning our next adventure together. You know it's going to be fun. A lot of you watching got to know me and my family through our videos on this channel, and we've had so much fun making them. Of course, our backyard building and riding has been fun, but I've really loved introducing the family to adventure travel, something I dreamed of doing as a dad with my family. I wanted to go around the world to wild places to ride my bike, and also be present as a dad, so I put the two together. What better way to show the kids the world? We've been to Whistler, Alaska, Ecuador, and most recently we went to Europe for the kids' first time. You'll have to watch the next series of videos to see what happened on those trips. Hopefully you enjoyed that look back at some of the good times that we've had on Diamondback. And if you've got a great story about your first Diamondback, leave them in the comments below. I'd love to read them. Such a great heritage here. So what's next for us? I'm actually not sure, but I do know that we're gonna keep riding, keep having good times together and making videos. So don't worry about that, you have plenty more to watch. And we may have lost Diamondback, but I'm so grateful for all of our sponsors that help make everything happen, including Liat for protection and clothes, Kenda Tires, Envy Wheels, Gnarly Nutrition, Thule, Lezine, Deity, and SDG. For bikes, we're actually really excited to try out something new, and you'll find out what that is in the next video, which will be out later this week actually, and that's from our Euro trip. There will be a whole video series showing that trip. Moving forward, we're also going to have consistent videos coming out, so you won't have to wait as long as you did this summer. Sorry about that. Most importantly, I want to thank all of you at home watching these videos for being a part of the PorterMTB family. We love meeting you all in person at events and on the trails, reading your comments, and just knowing that our videos are inspiring you to get outside, ride your bike, and spend time with friends and family. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next adventure.
Hey guys, Kelly McGarry here. We're doing a bit of filming. Check out the edit coming after Crankworks. We're here at Crankworks in Whistler with the Diamondback team. Keep your eyes for the full, oh quit. Keep your eyes what? Dude.
Keep your eyes crossed for the full edit.
Hey, what's up guys? Kelly McGarry here. We're up here at Crankworks in Whistler with the Diamondback crew. Keep your eyes crossed for the whole edit coming after Crankworks.
Yeah.